Oh, so they're removing Juliet and where Jack was?
She did kill someone.
Yeah. That's true. She did kill Danny.
It's only Danny.
He was the sacrifice the island demanded.
For once? Alright, yeah, it was only Danny.
I'm sure wondering it was a really popular thing to have feathers in your hair at a time. You can ask Kesha about it, but it was a choice.
Coach would be proud.
Kind of messed up the making Jack stay in Sawyer and Kate's sex puddle. I've been to Thailand. I have no idea how to make it look so boring on this show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Michael, Kristen, Kevin, and I are back for Lost Season 3, Episode 9, Stranger in a Strange Land, and I have heard a lot of things about this episode, a lot of not-so-great things. I can kind of see why. I don't think it was the worst thing in the world, but I'm sure we'll get into all the reasons that this is one of the worst Lost episodes of all time, so.
I think you meant to say... Oh, go ahead, Michael.
I think maybe we set Jake's expectations too low so that like anything remotely watchable would be like, yeah, it was fine.
Right. I mean, the island stuff is fine.
Yeah.
The flashback is not good.
No, I realized that. It was not great.
I personally would like to put in a change of title to Stranger in Snoozeland, but that's...
Stranger in Thailand?
I don't. This is spoilery, but I don't think it really matters. Like, this is a boring episode generally, and when we waited for it like weekly, it was like that's it. That's what we get. But pretty much nothing from this episode has any real importance. Like when you watch it on a rewatch, I'll just tell you this, Jake, because it really doesn't matter. This sheriff character, we never see her again. She is completely pointless in the show. She is just a character that turns up in the worst episode. She is monotone and boring, and she never comes back. Like, this episode is just such a dud in the season, where it's just like nothing really matters. There's a couple of fun stuff, like Ben's good because he's always good, but like just nothing really.
I'm a little disappointed that you didn't let Jake go the rest of the series, wondering where the hell this woman is.
Where's Isabel?
Like all of us did, but okay, Michael.
I'm happy to just never mention her again. Say we've done it. She's not coming back. Let's move on.
Okay, so this puts this episode even lower for me because, like, what is the point of this lady? Like,
right?
This episode really is what we're trying to get at.
Yeah, it's a very like to me, they had some things that they like wanted to reveal about the island, so they threw them in, but like they didn't have much of an idea, so like they made it about Jack's tattoo, but it's not Jack's tattoo. It's Matthew Fox's tattoo that he just had. So like they're like forcing it in, and it just doesn't make sense.
You know, I really truly believe that the writers were very hungover this day, and they're like, what are we gonna do? And they're like, wait, remember in season 1 when Kate is like, ask Jack about his tattoos? That'd be a great episode. Let's do something with that. And then they had zero idea what to do with it. So
and so this actress, right, Bai Ling, she was a very big actress in China, and then she was like up and coming in Hollywood. So like it feels like a way to like shoehorn her into like, because this was the It show, right? Like if you're trying to get on a show in 2005, 2006, like you're trying to get on Lost. So like, it's a big deal for her to be on the show. We're gonna go to Thailand. And I feel like they just had some like a bunch of half-baked ideas and just like threw them at the wall, and like none of them stuck.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like we got little pieces of it, like when Sawyer, like they're like playing for the, you know what I mean, in the poker game. He's like, "You've been in Thailand." Like it was like they literally were like, remember those one time we brought this up and it had zero significance? Let's just make an episode about it. What happened?
But to put Jake in the mindset of the fandom of Lost, like it was crazy. And so these things, they kind of gave us answers to things we were asking about, which in reality don't matter. People were always talking about Jack's tattoos. It was an ongoing conversation of this spinal surgeon with these tattoos. Like it doesn't really add up. Now, who cares? People have tattoos. I guess it's just more normalized and accepted. But they'd mentioned about Jack's tattoos. So it was, oh, what if we have an episode where we explain how Jack got his tattoos? And then we all realized there is no exciting answer to that question. He got tattoos.
Yeah, and like it like it's so dramatic. Like there's so much. There's like, oh, he's in Thailand and he gets this like vision from this tattoo artist who has visions and like knows who he is, and like once he gets the tattoo, he is banned from Thailand because he's, and like it just, none of that matters.
It would have been more fun if the flashback was just Jack having a good time in Thailand.
Right.
And it's
Like,
just him living his best life in Thailand, and he gets tattooed to remember the experience.
Right.
It doesn't have to be some big drama.
Right, for sure. All right. Shall we jump into this snooze?
Let's dive right in.
Okay. Well,
Sure.
first of all, I got a fun fact, but I'm gonna save that one because it's gonna be like the whole reason why we're here for this episode. But the blooper of this episode is when Tom is telling Jack, how about we get you some stone? They used the sound effect of the door opening, but the door was already open. Like, if you guys remember when they were having that conversation, like there were people standing in the doorway, and so when he says that, they used the sound of the door opening, but the door was already open. It's fine. They tried. They tried very hard. Jack also was wearing a necklace that had an 8 on it, so there were our numbers there. We have to obviously bring up this question that a lot of people still have questions about. Like, you can kind of have an assumption about this, but the question is, how did they find out that Juliet killed Danny?
Okay, that is
found
actually a
his
good
body,
question.
but
I mean, I assume they found his body, and like, at that point, Juliet probably confessed.
Like, there are assumptions, but like, obviously the people that were there were dead or they left the island. So let's, just have fun. There were obviously assumptions. Yes, they probably found the body, or Juliet told them, or yada yada yada. But
The sheriff must have found it.
right.
Right, like I guess if you really think about it, they knew, because they like, people had been shooting at Sawyer and Kate. They knew that Sawyer and Kate didn't have any bullets left. So like, where did the bullets come from? That must have, killed him. So like, if you really think about it, but like, who's thinking about it that much?
No, and that's what it's just like a funny thing of like, there's the assumptions, but it's like, there was no witnesses left, but that's okay. Fun fact though, here we go. This entire episode is based on Jack's tattoos. I have the actual, like, what it means. And
right, I always assume that is not what the tattoo actually says.
It does not. His tattoo, that is Matthew Fox's. They did not. This wasn't a Jack thing. This was Matthew Fox. His tattoo means eagles high, cleaving sky. End of story. That we saved a whole episode. Like, we could just
Okay.
like pack it up. Let's go. We're done.
yeah, thanks for joining us on the Tribe of Nerds, and we'll see you next time on Lost.
Next time.
Is this like an example of Americans getting Chinese words tattooed on themselves and they don't actually mean what they think they mean? Like did he think he was getting something better?
He thought that it was like hope, and it's not.
Right?
No regrets.
Yeah.
Oh god. All right. Anything else from you guys before we jump into this episode?
No, let's get on with it.
Okay. We open this up with my adorable man serenading everybody with his beautiful singing voice, and Kate being a little like brat, but I kind of agree with her a little bit, but also don't, because we had this discussion as we were watching it. She wants to go back. Sawyer's like, no, we're not going back. Jack told us we're not doing it. You could go either way. I would feel guilty a little bit about like leaving Jack behind, but he did say specifically, do not come back for me. It was very specific instructions. And then we get the moment of the door. We get where the blooper happens, where Tom comes in and is like, time to move, Jack. But Jack thinks that they're going to kill him. He's like,
Reasonable assumption.
Reasonable assumption. I love that this moment is Jack calling out Tom, because Tom says, what kind of people do you think we are? And he's like hanging Charlie. We're like kidnapping pregnant women. Like, what are you doing? And then Tom just is like, yep, we're gonna get you a different cage.
Okay, let's change the subject. We're taking you to a different cage.
We're done. Tom is definitely over it. But as they lead Jack out, we see Juliet being led in handcuffs here. And then we get our first flashback that nobody cares about. Dr. Jack is probably the best part of this entire flashback of Dr. Jack, this little kid. And he's giving him Coke. And then we have Jack wanting to make
Coca-Cola, to be clear.
Sorry.
We are in Thailand, and I want to be clear here.
That is true. That is true.
Americans go to Thailand to do a lot of things. This is
Way to
Coca-Cola.
catch
This
that
is a
one,
this is a what 9 p.m. show on network television.
That would have made the episode way more exciting.
It would have actually.
Coke
The doctor
Jack.
that was mad about his dad is now using. But anyway, he is making a kite because he's obviously never done a kite, and we are introduced to Asha or Achara.
Achara.
Literally, Jack says it 7 different ways this entire episode, which makes it even better. So that's why I was also going to do that. But yeah, she helps him fly the kite, and that's our opening. So Jake, walk us through the opening.
Yeah, this is an odd opening. To be honest, I didn't even know. Like, I guess this is Jack taking a vacation in Thailand, but it's never really specified.
It's like an undetermined time in his adult life when he needed to like find himself, right? Like he seemingly has recently had like this is probably not right after he ratted his dad out for being drunk during surgery, but like
I think it is.
No.
Well,
I've been under the assumption this entire time that it's right
no,
after.
because he said that he's been there for a month.
It has to be early Jack because he doesn't have the tattoos, and Jack has his tattoos in every other Jack flashback.
That is true.
Well, again, we already know that they messed this one up with the tattoos. But the only reason why I was like always have believed that it was after this is because he starts to talk about his dad with her, and she's like, "I don't care about your dad." And he's like, "Okay, I've spent a lot of time talking about my dad. I'm good to not talk about him."
But listen. His dad was an asshole to him when he was a kid. His dad's been an issue his whole life.
We've been there, but I'm just saying,
So,
like, it seemed
he was
like
never good enough for his dad. He talks about his dad all the time.
Anyway, moving on. Go ahead, Jake. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, it's and then we get more of like the Sawyer and Kate relationship, the serenading. Actually did recognize some of the songs that Sawyer was singing. So, but. Yeah, as they paddled to the island, and I definitely thought they were just paddling to the camp, and it turns out they're on the other side of the island, like the island that we've been on. So, I don't know. Just so much in this episode really just doesn't matter, in my opinion. So now that we're kind of talking about it more.
What annoys me about this episode and some other episodes that we've talked about where I just don't think certain writers can write Kate. I think Kate is a character that like she's so hit and miss, and it's due to the writing of the episode. In this episode, Kate is just annoying.
Kate is just like raw, like bad emotion, right? Like we need to go back. Kate, you know we can't go back. We can't go back. That's a terrible idea.
She's not stupid. Like she understands. She chose to leave, and now she's like, oh, we're going back. Like I just think it's terrible writing of Kate.
Yeah.
And that on top of everything else in this episode, I'm just like, they can't do anything right. What is this episode? The one good thing I'll say, I love Jack calling out Tom and being like, what kind of guy do I think you like? You took a kid off a raft. You hung out with a friend from a tree. You guys suck. Don't try and be the good guy with me.
Like, you've had me in a cage for weeks. What kind of person do I think you are? A bad one.
I will say the beauty of this episode that will save everything is all the million new nicknames that we are going to get from Sawyer. So
yes, he does have some good ones.
For everyone like you're trying to get through this episode, keep going because the nicknames make the entire thing.
A funny thing to me is that while Jack is on this vacation to find himself, he apparently is in a solo like house on the beach. There's only one, and he's in it. Like, where did this house come from? What is going on?
It's a pop-up tent.
And like going forward, later when he comes out and like the kid who calls him Dr. Jack runs away from him, people appear from inside his vacation house that he's been in. Like, it's so.
We have one hut and we're using it for everything.
Right, like where did these people come from? That's your vacation house. I realize it's the only one, but like clearly you were the only one in there. It's so weird.
Well, it is so
I
weird.
will say they did a much better job of making Hawaii look like Thailand than they did with England last week. So that is a positive of this episode.
So, like, the thing that I need you to know, Michael, is that we Americans are not well traveled, and we will just believe that wherever you say you are is where you are. They told us they were in England. All right.
We were like, wow, England's so cool. Anyway, moving right along in this amazing Stranger in Snoozeland, we get Tom bringing Jack some food, to which he's very ungrateful for it. Is like, well, Juliet grilled these. He's like, do I look like Juliet? Like, take the damn sandwich. And he has questions. He's like, who's that woman? He's like, it's our sheriff. And he's like, you have a sheriff? He's like, no, you idiot. Like, we're having a conversation here, Jack. But Jack is calling out Tom again because Tom was like, no, don't go anywhere. Don't leave this cage. He's like, bro, the camera's right there. He's like, oh yeah, shit. I forgot you got into the control room. About that. Have a good time. See you later.
Silly me.
Silly me. But I love that Tom, again, this is like, this part is also my, like, I love this in this episode of the Jack and Tom because they're so funny. Because after, like, Jack calls out Tom and he's like, okay, quit trying to have one over on me. He comes back to pour some salt in the wound about Sawyer and Kate literally leaving his ass high and dry there. And he's like, damn, that's gotta suck, right? And he's like, thanks for the sandwich, bro. Go away.
Right, that's the kind of guy you are. You rub salt in the wound. What kind of people do you think we are? Assholes.
I just think that him and Tom are like both over each other at this point because like Tom was like, you just tried to kill my best friend that like tells me what to do all the time. Like, you know what I mean? It just is kind of a fun thing that people don't really talk about. But yeah. We've got Sawyer and Kate fighting continuously, lovers quarrel, if you will. And Carl's got the wisdom. He's like you guys shouldn't fight. You guys should stare at the stars like Alex and I did in our backyards. And Sawyer's like, you've got backyards? What?
Right? Revelation.
Kate, though, does, and this is where Michael was saying Kate's a smart person, she does start kind of interrogating him, like, so you don't live on that island, you live here, and what do you do over there? What are you working on? She wants to get some of the answers. Carl, to which is like completely checked out, and he's like, we work on projects. Yeah, we live here. It was great.
We've got these lovely little yellow houses. They're so cool.
We're not getting much from Carl. He's definitely checked out here. We do see that Jack is completely bored here. Juliet appears. Like, I love that, again, Michael, you brought up, they didn't just stick him in the other cage. They stuck him in the sex cage, that he just witnessed them, like, doing the deed. But, like, I love that he's just kind of sitting there. He's fiddling with things. He's, like, I kind of was like, are you going to electrocute yourself like Sawyer did? What's happening here? What are we going to do? But Juliet appears, and Ben has an infection. And she's like, I'm going to need you to help. And he's like, I'm good. I'm done.
He's like,
I'm good. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. And then we get our next flashback, which is dinner at the brothers' restaurant. He tried something. They're like, you're so brave. It looked like a string bean to me. Sure. Like that. Yes. He's very brave to try that.
I thought it was squid.
What?
I thought it was squid.
Well, that's what it looks like when she pulls it off. But then when he eats it, it literally looks like a string bean. Anyway, whatever.
I mean, I will agree because like I am very picky. So like, yeah, I'm not eating that. But
now we're gonna get the mystery of the episode. A man appears and gives Achara a envelope, and she's like, I have a gift. And Jack's like, okay. We're done. So Jake, walk us through this next section. Again, we have said it, the island stuff is a little bit more intriguing than the flashback.
Yeah, I don't have much to say on the flashback, but yeah, I mean we're getting Kate and Sawyer, specifically Sawyer, really trying to get a lot of information out of Carl, and so kind of, figuring out, Carl's relationship, like how close him and Alex are as boyfriend and girlfriend, and the constellation. And I thought it was kind of cool. Obviously, Carl's completely checked out because he's literally been sitting in like a brainwash chair for who knows how long. But
Do they actually have backyards, or did he envision that?
Right. Yeah. I didn't know like how much of it was like because isn't some of what Carl is saying-
we do know from the first episode of the season that they have houses.
I was
Yeah,
talking in
right.
relation to them, like Kate believing him, like when he's like, "Yeah, we're in the backyard." Like they wouldn't know that. We do,
Right.
but I'm just saying, like,
Right. Yeah. I was definitely wondering how much of what Carl was saying was like completely true also, and like also just him also being out of it. Like, I don't know. It was interesting. So, but yeah, I kind of liked that. That and Sawyer giving so many nicknames is probably like the best part of the episode.
I do love though that Carl is over here like somewhat providing wisdom, but also completely checked out. Like we're talking about literally just a little bit ago when they're on the boat. He's like God loved Jacob as Jacob loves you, and like even Sawyer's like, alrighty then, thanks for the feedback. Like have a good time. So it is interesting that they're now like questioning and like believing what he's saying when he was literally just like spewing random shit. So I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, we do get a Jacob mention, so I guess there's something in this episode of like, ooh. Going against what I said about Kate in the first part, like I do like Kate in this moment where she is. This is the first time they've had a conversation with another that isn't an enemy. You know, that's someone that's not really got anything to hide or any allegiance to the others. So she does get information from him, like whether they believe it or not. But it seems pretty genuine from Carl, and like you say, it does match up with what we've seen about where they live in episode 1. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad Kate at least made an attempt to say like, hey, we just saved this kid's life, let's try and get a bit of information from him.
Yeah,
I like the idea of, like I said, that like when they were breaking up the rocks and moving the rocks, it was just making them work just to make them work. Like it wasn't actually anything. And I like the idea that Carl's like, I don't know, we just do stuff over there.
She's like,
I don't know, it's just a project. No one tells me
right.
anything.
She's like kind of stuff. He's like, a project. I don't know. It was fun.
Like, does anyone know what they're doing with these rocks?
No, they don't.
We do.
With that, moving right along, we've got Isabel appearing to Jack. She walks up in the most condescending way possible, and she's very condescending about his text. She's like, do you know what it says? And he's like, yeah, I know what it says. And she's like, do you really? Do you really, sweetie? And he's like, yeah, I know what it says. What the hell are you doing here? What do you need? And so she's like, we need to go have a chat. I have some questions. Let's go back in here and chit chat about what you know. Jack covers for Juliet. He's like, I made all that up. I just wanted to create chaos so my friends could escape. And she goes, why are you lying for her? She is calling Jack out. She's like, don't believe you. And then we also...
I mean, I wouldn't believe Jack either.
I mean, but do we... I don't think we expected from Jack literally 2 seconds ago telling Juliet, I will never help you. I'm done with this, then covering for her. So it was a little like, we were like, okay, Jack, see you. Thank you for being a good person now. But then in the middle of all of this, we get another flashback, which is basically Atara's booty call. That's it. Legit. They have some chit chatting. They roll off the bed. Fun times with in the booty call.
That's what I mean. There's no one else in that house, right? Like you're not falling off that bed in the middle of that hut. Like if you have roommates, if this is a hostel and you have roommates, you're doing that real quiet.
I don't think Dr. Jack's staying in a hostel.
Right, that's what I mean. So like this is clearly his own house, but it's the only one on the beach.
I do love that. I can't wait to talk about that part because I feel like that was a blooper error, but I think they tried to. We're gonna get to it anyway. We do get Jack waking up to all of these people just there randomly, no other reason, and Jack's like, "Wait, I know you," and he's like, "Weren't you on the flight?" And she's like, "Yeah, I was your flight attendant, Cindy. How's it going?"
She's like, "T, hi."
Well, how's life? And he's like, "The hell are you doing here?" And she's like, well, we're just here to watch. And then, of course, this little girl walks up and she's like, hey, can you ask him about Ana Lucia? And he's like, doubt that.
Listen. I am all for treating children nicely, but that question seemed so intentional. Like, how much did you? What candy did you give that little girl that asked that question? I would have yelled too.
Well, this is where we get Jack and his anger and frustration of this whole situation. He's like, "You got something to go watch it." Basically, a big F you and see you later. So they leave because this crazy man in a cage just yelled at them, and they were just there because they were told to be there. Which also gives us the moment of like, okay, we are now seeing these tailies that were taken, but they seem brainwashed, but also not because they're asking about Ana Lucia. Like,
right,
are
like,
they?
Yeah.
Well, those are some questions.
Yeah, well, we obviously know from Carl, like they do have a brainwashing station, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that these people are sort of brainwashed. And like, yeah, I was like, I've been wondering like what the hell happened to like Cindy, and like I don't know, it's like
Cindy who just disappeared. They're
Right.
climbing up a hill,
yeah,
and all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, where'd she go? Apparently, she went to this
Thin air.
island,
Thin
Yeah.
this
air.
other island, and she's talking to the kids.
yeah.
This is probably one of my favorite moments of this entire episode is Kate and Sawyer also wake up and Carl is gone and they are in a full-blown panic. Well, Kate is. Sawyer's just like, okay, Carl's gone, whatever. But they start walking and hear him crying. And Sawyer's like, I've got it. No boys only. Like, he's coming to give this great pep talk. He's ready to do it. And he punches the living shit out of this kid. And he's like, cowboy up. Quit freaking crying here in the jungle. What's wrong with you? And he's like, bro, I was sad about my girl. And he's like, you're such a Bobby Brady. And all the other nicknames that are coming out. Sally Slingshot's in here. We've got a lot of great things. But he's like, if you love her, if she's worth it, go back. And he's like, well, I mean, if I get caught though, they're gonna kill me. And Sawyer basically had a moment that we've had on the show. It's only Carl. Like, I mean, go. It's fine. You can die. But yeah, so he does let Carl go. To which Kate is going to be very pissed off about that. But we have Alex because of course, Sally Slingshot shows back up to take out a camera.
Sally Slingshot is a really good one.
Yeah.
So she shows up to take out the camera to ask Jack some questions of why he helped Ben. She's got some feelings about her daddy. She is very upset that he even bothered to save his life. But Jack's like, well, before I answer your question, I got some questions of my own. Who was that woman? What's going on with Juliet? I need some answers. And she's like, well, she's going to her trial and she's going to die. And we're very, very serious about that over here. And Jack's like, well, will she listen to Ben? And she's like, well, yeah. He's like, okay, let's go. I need to go visit your dad. And he now has a plan. So I'm going to stop there before we finish up this episode. Jake, walk us through, I mean, literally the best part with Sawyer. But
Yeah, I was laughing at him just punching Carl to like be like man up and like of course the nicknames. But yeah, obviously Alex or Sally Slingshot coming and asking Jack about, why he saved Ben's life. And, basically Jack ends up asking her all these questions. And then she's like, okay, your turn, Jack. And so, yeah, I did find this part interesting. And then it'll lead to obviously Jack going and asking Ben for his assistance to write a note so that Juliet doesn't get killed for her actions of killing Danny. And I thought this was my other favorite part. Obviously, Ben's line of the cavalry's here. Like, that was any scene with Ben is also great. Again, Michael Emerson does a really great job. And so he's a little shit, but you still want to like this guy, even though he's like a villain. But
one thing that I think is kind of a missed opportunity, I don't know. Like, I feel like they could have played into a little bit more, like, are they playing Jack, right? Because Ben's whole thing was, I want you to want to help me, right? So, like, I feel like they could have written it a little differently. So, like, I do think they were going to kill Juliet, right? Like, I think that was going to happen, right? Like, I think they could have written it to be a little more like, I don't know, where we question it a little bit, where we're like, is this going to happen, or are they just playing him, right? Like, I don't know. I think they could have done that a little bit better. Because, like, the way Alex is acting and the way Juliet is acting, like, Juliet's like, this is it, I'm gonna die. Like, oh well. Like, there's nothing I can do, right? And Alex is like, nah, dude, she dead. Like, we're all going to watch. And she still, like, spoiler for the end, she still does get branded. Like, she does get a punishment. So, like, I really think they were going to, but that was, like, the whole thing was, I want you to want to do it. So, like, I feel like they could have played it up more and, like, made us question it more.
I mean, there's a lot of things they could have done to make this more interesting of an episode, for sure. Like, and the key thing about this episode in this section as well is Isabel, where it's just like, I don't want to be rude, but she's so dull. Like, her delivery of her lines, there's just nothing interesting about this character. She is just monotonous and dull. And, like, we've got, I think, you know what's even more annoying is when you've got Ben. Like, we have Ben. We don't need Isabel. Like, if we just had, like, the whole story of Juliet's trial, but Ben is, you know, deciding what to do about this situation, maybe that would have been interesting as well, of how does Ben deal with this situation. But instead we get a one-time character that the writers clearly also thought she really doesn't fit into what we're doing here, so let's just get rid.
It's so odd.
She reminds me of the teacher from Ferris Bueller. Like, that's how she is. Very, like, flat. She's very flat.
I think the only good part about this episode, apart from Ben, I do like, we do learn that Cindy and the kids and the Tailies are here, and they do seem happier. And going back to the beginning of the episode, Kate asks Carl, where did they take the kids? Where did they take everyone? And he says, we gave them a better life, like better than what you have. And that seems to be, again, true.
Right. Even Carl, who is, like, being threatened and, like, nearly killed, is like, we give them a better life. Right? Like, even he thinks it's better. So, like, whereas they were just seemingly cartoonishly evil before, like, they do start to seem more layered.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to point out that what I find very funny is that Alex came in there very serious to ask Jack a question. And Jack, of course, wants all of his questions answered, which she does. So then she doubles back down like, okay, so, like, I answered yours. I actually answered quite a few of them. And he answered mine. He's like, I said I would save his life. That's the answer. She's like,
but that's such a hero's answer of, like, because I said I was going to do it, so I did it.
I know, but it's just like, can you imagine me, Alex, to be like, that's the answer?
Yeah. It is much less of a payoff for her than it was for him. But
yeah, she was screwed on that one. Anything else in the section before I wrap us up here?
I hadn't thought about that, but it is actually quite funny as well that she went to the trouble of breaking a camera, like, I'm going to go speak to Jack, and that's what she gets. That is quite funny. And she walks away like, oh, great.
Thank you, Jack. I kind of figured. Jake started to lead us into this final section here, but we do have the cavalry arriving for Ben. I like that. My favorite part about this is Ben calling out Jack's bedside manner, because we've said it several times.
We said it earlier amongst ourselves during this episode.
Right. Yes. When he's yelling at the children. But yes, he basically tells Ben, I will help you. Because if I don't help you, you're probably never gonna walk again. You might die. You might get, like, all these things. And this is when Ben's like, "Any good news?" Like, what? But he also says, he sees Alex there. He goes, "Does what's her butt that means nothing to us have a walkie so I can save Juliet, because that's the only way that Jack is going to save my life?" And she's like, "Nope, they're in the meeting." And he's like, somebody get me a pen. I guess I have to write out a little love note to Isabel. And so Jack has seemingly his plan has worked. They've made a now deal. I will take care of you. You're going to save Juliet. Cool deal. See you later. We get our flashback of Jack following Achara. I'm pretty confident that he thought she was a prostitute. Pretty confident that that's what he thought that was happening. And that's why he was following her. But he follows her to a tattoo shop. This is the mystery of it all. Tattoo shop. And even Jack's like, this is the secret. You work in a tattoo parlor. She's like, It's a little bit more complicated than that. I see the future.
Is it though? Is it?
not.
It's right. Like it's
Now
like
it's
I give like visual personality tests. I just look you over and I can tell if you're an IFTJ or whatever. I don't know what the letters are. Like,
right. Whatever it may be. But yeah, she basically said,
I just look at you and I know.
it's not a tattoo shop.
I think you're a JACK.
But anyway, so Jack apparently is like, you know what? Cool, mark me. And she's like, I can't. I'm not allowed.
You're an outsider.
Sure. And he's like, nope, you're going to make me do it. She's like, there's going to be consequences. Like the people randomly appearing outside of your room.
Appearing inside your hut and then coming outside to beat you up.
But anyway, he does not care. He wants to get marked.
Typical Jack. He's like,
Jack.
I don't care.
But we do. I also love that they are doubling down on this tattoo story so much that the very next scene is like a slow motion run as these like are focusing
on the tattoo
as they're running to save Juliet's life. It's great. Love it. But they do go to the meeting. Alex is like, stand back here because you're not supposed to be here. Tom's like, why did you bring it? Tom and I'm telling you guys, this was the missed storyline of the Tom and Jack, because Tom's like ready to like strangle Jack for even like being outside the door.
Well, Tom's mad that he called him out in the beginning of the episode. He's been mad the whole episode.
I know he is. It's great. Like that's where our storyline should have been, because those two are hilarious. But then Isabel comes out and she's like, let him go. Thank you, Isabel. That was great. And she's like, I have a message for you. Here's a note from my dad. And so she's like, well, Ben has, decided that Juliet can't be executed. Yay for her. But he does say that she's going to get branded. And Jack's like, that wasn't part of the deal. He's so upset about this. Like, he's like appalled that would happen. But with that, they get us to our very last flashback of this episode, where Jack comes out and he's ready for his Dr. Jack moment. And the kid is like, bye, see you later. Deuces. And then this is Kevin's favorite part of these people randomly appearing from inside Jack's little house here. And there's like 6 of them and they all appear and Jack's like, hi.
And they're very clearly like about to beat him up. And he's like, I know you. I was at your restaurant. Like, Jack, run, you idiots. These people are about to beat your ass.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you want to build a kite with me? Your sister did it the other day. We had a good time. Like,
survival instincts of a lemming.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so basically all of that happened that Kevin just said, that he stays there and lets his ass get beat up by these people because he was marked. And then as they all walk away, you see Atara sitting there and she's like, okay, thanks for the sex. See you later. Like she's gone now. It's like she's just
she like cries as she watches him get beat up and then doesn't even help him. He's bleeding profusely and she's just like
she's like, thanks.
You're fine.
Thanks for the booty call. See you never.
The craziest part, I just can't believe that Akira is in another 35 episodes of this show. It's crazy how much time they spend on this character. Like,
I know. I really thought she'd be one and done like Isabel, but apparently not.
No, it's amazing that she actually crashes on the island next. And it's like a weird thing because she's been floating around the ocean ever since this thing happened with Jack. They put her on a boat right then.
They did.
And now she crashed like years later. It's so weird.
We need a spin-off show with Isabel and Atura, except it would get canceled pretty quickly. But
it'd be so bad. But yeah, to finish out the episode, Juliet has now appeared to Jack with his grilled cheese with the toothpicks. All is right in the world. Jack got a sandwich the way he wanted it. And she's like, hey, thanks for saving my life. And he's like, I need to see the mark. Show me the mark. And she's like, it's okay. You don't need to see it. And he's like, I don't care. I want to see it. So again, this is very random and weird, but she shows him the little star, like tramp stamp.
Right. It's like a cool design. Like, listen, if you got to be branded, like if you have to be, this is not the worst one you could get, right? It's not like they initialed.
I mean, people like tramp stamp themselves with like for fun. So like she should be like
Like, he could have branded her with, like, Ben's bitch on her ass cheek. And, like, instead, it's, like, a cute little design on the small of her back. Like, I feel bad for her. It hurts. It's a punishment. I'm not... But, like...
I do have to point out, though, like, seriously, though, how well she did. Like, if you see her walking up with the sandwich, you can tell that she did a great job. Like, it's very subtle, but, like, you can tell that it's raw underneath her shirt. Like, she doesn't want to move.
Uncomfortable, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I thought that, I mean, a very subtle thing that, like, a lot of people wouldn't pick up on. But I think that was, like, her going the extra step. But Jack does see the little branding. He tells her to get an aloe plant. They have a little cute moment of their hands touching. So sweet. And then we get this musical, like, layover of the episode of Kate and Sawyer's all sad because his sexy time with Kate didn't work out because now they're in a fight.
Womp womp.
We've got Carl looking up at the constellations that him and Alex made. And then
Alex looking at the same constellations.
I did like that. I thought that was a pretty cool, like, transition
that was
into
cute.
that.
I like that too.
But at the end of this musical montage, if you will, we get Isabel again. She is really hard up on this tattoo. She is having a field day with this tattoo. And she says that it's because even though he is one of us, he is not, or, you know.
Right. He walks among us, but he is not one of us.
He's not one of us. And Jack goes, that's what it says, but it's not what it means. Like, wow.
Okay.
Thank you for the lesson. Yes, you're correct, Jack. It means eagles high, clever, whatever. Cleaving sky. So thank you for the lesson episode. And then we get the last title. And now Stranger in SnoozeLand is now over. So Jake, wrap it up. How'd you feel about the ending here?
I don't know. It definitely felt like that line just... It didn't work for me, to be honest. Like, that's not what it means or whatever. I don't know. I just didn't really care. I thought that this episode, now that we're kind of going over it, like, it wasn't the worst, had some good moments, but then you also, I mean, things are just pointless. Isabel means nothing. It definitely feels like Kate and, like, I don't know, like a little bit of Jack in a way, or just kind of not written as well as they usually are.
Yeah, the writing on Kate is definitely very uneven.
You mean that they're both being little bitches this episode? You are correct.
Well, because even Kate at first, like, we have to go back, for we can't leave him. Like, but yes, you have to. And then later is like, she's like, no, we had to leave him. And I'm like, it's not even 12 hours later. Like,
we need a Sawyer pep talk.
Sawyer punched her in the arm and told her to kill way up. With that, I like that. Jake, I don't know if you've caught this, but I did this for a reason at the beginning. When we first finished the episode, I wanted to hear your thoughts on it because I knew that the fact that we continued to make fun of this, we would show you the light of how bad this episode tragically is. But I wanted your unfiltered moments of this episode first. So we do have that on recording, everyone, that Jake did somewhat enjoy this episode.
I mean, it is an episode of Lost, and we do get some, like, revelations. So, like, yeah, sure. Like, is it the worst thing that I've ever watched in my entire life? No, I've watched this episode several times now. But, like, is it my least favorite episode of Lost?
Yes.
Yes.
But
of all the episodes of Lost, of all the episodes of TV that have been written, this is one of them.
I was like waiting for more.
I will say we do get one pretty cool thing that does carry over from this episode that is quite exciting. We are getting the others leaving Hydra Island. We're finally leaving the cages. We're leaving that site that we've been at for the first 9 episodes, whatever this is, of season 3. And going
so maybe we'll go back to those houses. Maybe we'll go back to Book Club house.
Juliet does say that. He said, where are we going? And she's like, well, Ben calls it home. Okay, well, what do you call it? Because I didn't ask what Ben said. But no, I think the thing about this episode is, like, and we've said this time and time again, Lost is such a fantastic show that even the worst episode of Lost is still better than some television out there. So, like, we'll take it for that.
Agreed.
So, well, wrap it up with favorite, least favorite, and obviously I don't think we need to even pull up the ranking, but...
I will, but my favorite, I'll go Sawyer, and then least favorite, I'll go Isabel, because what is the point of her? So
I said this earlier. I think favorite, I'm going to go On Island Jack. I think least favorite, I'm going to go Flashback Jack. Like, why is Flashback Jack angrily insisting she give him this tattoo? It makes no sense. Why is Flashback Jack so dumb and not realizing he's going to get beat up? It makes no sense. But, like, On Island Jack, he's cool, right? Like, he's like, doing stuff, and he's, like, got no time for the little game of, like, well, we're just better off here. And like, do you want me to bring you the cart with a little alcohol? Like, no, bitch, I want answers, right? So like, On Island Jack, great. And even that line is wasted, but it is a good line of like, that's what it says, but it's not what it means. Like, great line. Wasted because it means nothing to even the episode. But like, On Island Jack, very cool. Flashback Jack, dud.
Yeah.
Michael?
My favorite character is Ben because for the brief time he's on screen, he elevates this episode from a 1-star episode to like a 2-star episode just by how great he is. Yeah, like he's I love sassy, sarcastic Ben. Like the cavalry has arrived. I just think I already promised you a ticket off this island. What's it going to cost me this time, Jack? He's just even with an infection on his spine, he still needs to be sassy and sarcastic. So I'll give it to Ben. And my least favorite, I'm just going to say the writers of this episode. This is a disaster. What were they thinking? Not a character. I don't care. I don't care. I will say one positive that comes out of this. This is the episode that got Damon and Carlton to start negotiating the end date of Lost because they were treading water. They did this episode. It was so badly received. They said, we can't keep doing this. We can't keep having... These characters they only have so much in their lives. We can only tell flashbacks about these people for so long until we end up with episodes about how they got tattoos that we don't care about. Like, we need to have a set time when this will end.
Yes. Yeah, no, most definitely. And I agree with that 100%. I think that was much needed. So maybe they did that on purpose. Maybe the writers are the actual heroes that they wrote such a shit episode so they couldn't get that. We've been thinking about this all wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Well, clearly, my favorite character is Sawyer because Ben brought it up to a 2. Sawyer brings it up to a 3 because he's hilarious with all of his nicknames. Sally Slingshot will be however shit.
Sally Slingshot is a great nickname.
And Bobby Brady, like the things are happening. So Sawyer, 100% number 1. He's hilarious. But Ben, definitely shout out. Also, like the Tom and Jack, I brought it up. They were hilarious. The little like quarrel that they had. Least favorite, there's so many. There are so many that I could name. We've got Achara, Achara, all the things that Jack called her in the very beginning. We've got her brother, like, I don't know why you're so angry about a tattoo. All the things. There's so many people, so I will just go with Michael on the entire writing department. End of story.
Is it a comment on cultural appropriation? Like, I don't know. Am I missing something like deeper? Just on while we're talking about the tattoos, like, is it because I don't know. I shouldn't have brought it up again.
But I feel like an easy fix to this episode 2 is like that she's an artist and she makes him this art, and then he gets it tattooed without her knowing, and then that's the thing that she's like, you weren't supposed to do that, and like that gets him like that makes more sense than just like him angrily being like, you must do it, and she's like, okay,
and then telling everyone about it. Just keep it quiet if you don't want people to know.
Just cover it up. Wear your long sleeve shirt that you've been wearing the whole episode because you're trying to hide the fact that your tattoo is really there because you're Matthew Fox.
Another fun blooper though, before because we really don't even need to get to the rankings. Another fun blooper is when they go to tattoo Jack of the tattoo that was already there. When they show the bare arm, you can see it under the makeup.
Oh my god, that is actually hilarious.
I'm like, you guys didn't get very good makeup for that.
Oops.
Whoopsie.
Anyway, so we're gonna argue that this was the best episode of Lost, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. I can't.
Yeah,
wait.
I think. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe Exodus kind of up there.
Right above Exodus.
Yeah, I can't wait to put it right here. So.
Did you ever think that you'd find something worse than Further Instructions?
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, considerably. Like, I do. if we're talking about all-time worst episodes of Lost, I don't know if I hate this or Fire and Water more. Like, they're both such garbage. Where I'm like,
That's the thing. When the fandom talks about the two episodes they hate, I'm always talking about this and Fire and Water.
same.
There's another one that the fandom is usually talking about that I'm like, that one's not that bad. This is terrible.
Same.
Yeah.
Do you see how often we agree on things, Kevin? If you weren't,
It's just
such
you
an
like John
idiot
Locke
when it
for some
comes to
reason.
John Locke.
One day you guys are gonna come together for your lovers quarrel as well and make up like Sawyer and Kate. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm totally interested to see the other episode that the fandom hates. So, well,
It's fun.
We'll tell you about it when we get to it.
yeah, I'm sure. Well, that is it for Lost Season 3, Episode 9, Stranger in a Strange Land. If you like our Lost coverage, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff.
If you're gonna share a spoiler comment, spoiler tag ... Jake up here. Where is it for me? There.
Yeah.
Jake will not click read more if it says spoiler, but if you just start typing, Jake's gonna read it, and he's not gonna stop until he gets to the end. And be
Can't
like, "Oh,
help
whoops!"
himself.
Can't help himself.
Can't help himself.
You gotta put that barrier in for him. Stop him.
And there will be no spoiler section at the end of this one because there's nothing to spoil because Jake or Michael already did. So it's
Okay, well, there you go. You don't get a spoiler
again, that was
section.
your spoiler section.
So we'll hit the credits. So with that,
All the credits.
we'll see you all next time for more Lost on the Tribe of Nerds.
Fuck John Locke.
Love you, Sawyer.